Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head over to Texas in America. So this is going to be my very first Texan beer review for you on the channel, and what better place to kick off with than the oldest craft brewery in the state. So we are going to go to Houston today and visit St. Arnold Brewing Company, and this one is their Art Car IPA, which is rated 95 overall and 95 within the style on Rate Beer. Very highly rated brew this one, and it comes in at 7.1%. It's got some really nice American hops in this one, some of my favourite American hops actually, so I'm really looking forward to trying this. A big thank you to my friend Anna, who actually brought this one back from Houston for me to try, and hopefully I can do some more Texas beer reviews for you soon. She bought me 4 or 5 actually, so you'll see a couple of Texan videos coming over the next little while, so I hope you guys enjoy them. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you do want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my future reviews that hopefully I can do from St. Arnold. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. The whole channel uses a geography based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city or state, whatever you're interested in. There are playlists for beers from the different countries too. Do check out my sake and whiskey reviews, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. Always interesting to hear from you guys, and your support is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about St. Arnold Brewing Company. So St. Arnold Brewing Company are based in Houston, Texas, and they're the oldest craft brewery in the state. The company was founded in 1994 by Rice University graduates Brock Wagner and Kevin Bartle, and it's named after St. Arnold of Metz, who is the patron saint of brewing and lived from 582 to 640, mainly living in France if I'm not mistaken. And it's actually the St. Arnold name, of course, is the anglicised version of St. Arnulf. But Kevin and Brock actually lived in Houston at the time, and apparently when they were starting up the company, Houston was the largest city in the US without a microbrewery. But Kevin later left the company, and so it's now solely owned by Brock. So the brewery were originally based in the far northwest side of Houston, but in 2008 they announced plans to move, and in 2010 they finally did actually get the move into a building that had previously served as the food service facility for the Houston Independent Schools District, which apparently cost them $6 million to refurbish, and this gives them a maximum capacity of 100,000 barrels of beer per year. So they're a very prolific brewery and one of the bigger capacity ones. I think they were saying they're in the top 10 of craft breweries by volume in the States, but they've got a lot of different beers as well. So they've got 11 year-round beers, 6 seasonal beers. They have the Icon series, which are kind of they're like seasonal beers, I guess, as well. So they're all labelled red, blue, green and yellow, and these ones are released for 3 months at a time. They tend to be between 4 and 8% ABV. They have the Divine Reserve series, which are single batch, bigger ABV beers, and they also have the Bishop's Barrel series, which are the barrel aged ones, of course, and then the Special Limited series, and these ones are things like anniversary beers and stuff like that. So these guys are very prolific, but that's kind of what you would expect when it's a brewery that has been around for quite a long time. So like I say, Texas' oldest brewery, and they do some pretty damn good beers. They're very highly rated, and Anna was telling me that the beers these guys do are pretty damn good actually, so really looking forward to trying this one. So let's get on to the tasting section of this beer now. So like I said, this guy is a 7.1% IPA. It's hopped with Columbus, Cascade and Simcoe in the boil, and then it's later dry hopped with Amarillo, Simcoe and Mosaic, and it's got a malt base of 2-row pale, Cara 45 and Cara foam malts. It was actually introduced in August 2015, and the artwork on this beer was designed by Houston graffiti artist Gonzo247, and the beer was named after a fleet of cars that were painted by local street artists for the brewery. So quite a cool little bit of history behind this beer actually, and it's quite interesting to see that the guys support local artists and things like that. It's always cool when breweries support local initiatives like that. So let's get this guy out then, and we'll get on with the tasting. I'll just let you have a little quick look at the artwork there. There you can see St. Arnold enjoying a beer, and I do quite like the artwork you can see on this one there. It says a very hoppy American IPA, 12 fluid ounces. This one, I have no idea what that is in millilitres. I guess it's maybe 330. It looks like a 330 milliliter can to me, but very nicely presented. And we'll get this guy out and get on with the tasting then. Really looking forward to trying this beer, and once again thank you to Anna for bringing this one back from the States for me. Always cool to try beers from the different states, and that's one of the difficult things actually. A few of the American beer tubers have told me there's some really kind of unusual rules in America about actually sending beers. Like all the states seem to have different rules, and that can be a bit difficult for people that want to do beer swaps and things like this. And I don't know why that is, but they have all these different rules. But as you can see, this beer has poured a really nice kind of bright yellowy orange amber colour, this one. If I put my fingers behind it, you can see there is a bit of transparency to this one, but there's a good bit of haze in there. There's no sediment coming out of this beer at all. You can see there's a good solid 2-finger frothy, I would say a sort of creamy coloured head to this one. Looks very nice. I guess you're struggling to see it a little bit because of the whiteness of my new room, but it looks very, very nice. There's a few big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, but quite a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of that head there, but it looks very, very nice. I'll just put the last little bit of the beer in there because that head just went a little bit crazy, but that's all of the beer out now, so we should be able to have a nice look at this. So I'll just have a look at the aroma for you then. This guy is really fruity actually. There's a really nice sharpness to the fruit in this beer. Yeah, there's a lot of tropical fruit coming out of this one. There's a little bit of a sort of peachy or apricot-y thing in there. So there's nice orangey citrus as well. Really it smells like a big juicy orange. There's a little bit of grapefruit coming out. The orange of course will be coming from the Amarillo. The grapefruit will be probably from the Mosaic, and a little bit from the Columbus as well, and the Cascade. But you can smell that in there, but it's really leaning, when it comes to the tropical fruit, it's really leaning more towards these juicier fruits that you're probably quite likely to associate with the Citra hop. You can really get that out of it. There's a lovely kind of just juicy fruity. It's not quite, I'm not sure, maybe peaches and mangoes maybe coming out of this one. It's got a bit of the sharpness you get from peach, but it also has the juiciness that you'd expect from the mangoes. But there's a bit of floral aromaticity to this one. I'll sugar it up a little bit. Yeah, there's a bit of floral aromaticity from this one. When you sugar it up a little bit, you can get some of the pine resins out of the beer. But I'm really just getting, as I sniff that, I'm getting more and more of that juicy tropical thing that I'm talking about. A bit of the sharpness from the peaches, like I say. You can smell the orangey citrus just backing this up. But really it's a little bit of, I think it's peach and mango that's coming out of this one. There's a really sharp kind of tropical note to this one. So just pay attention to the aroma of it before you try it. I'm getting a good bit of caramel sweetness as well. And there's a sort of, you can get a little bit of the bready, biscuity kind of biscuity character out of this one. It's got that, I don't know if you get them in America right enough, but I always think of digestive biscuits. It's got that nice richer caramel note. There's some of the more grainy biscuity elements to it as well, and you've got a nice bready base as well. But it's a really nice smelling beer, this. And you get more of those pine resins and floral aromatic characters coming out of this one as you sugar it up. So without further ado then, let's get stuck into this beer. This one should be really nice. So this one is the Art Car IPA from St. Arnold Brewing Company over in Houston in Texas in America. A big thank you once again to Anna for giving me this beer. Hugely appreciated. So this one's for you. Slanja. Oh yeah, that is pretty damn good. Just on first taste, you can say that right away. That's really, really nice, and it's got a bit of a different feel to it than some of the other American IPAs that I've had before. It's almost, you can taste a little bit of difference in the water, and that's something I'm kind of sensitive to as a Scot, because obviously the whiskies from different areas, you can taste the difference in the water from some of these. The water in this one, it has a sort of smooth character to it. You can pick that up in this beer, but then it brings out the hops too. The hops have a nice juiciness to them. It comes in very, very juicy, and then it just dries out, but it's quite mellow in the way that it dries out and gives you the bitter flavours. Yeah, for me, this is a really quite juicy IPA. Then it gives way to a little bit of hoppiness, quite a bit of hoppiness I should say, and then it just smooths out, and you've got a little bit of bitterness in there, and then some of the nice juicy fruit characters. It's really nicely done actually. I really like the mouthfeel of that. It's just different to some of the other ones I've had before. Lovely. But yeah, in terms of the flavours, so in the middle of the palate, you're getting a nice kind of bready malt base. You can feel that just blanketing your tongue. On top of that, there's a little bit of biscuity element in there, and right in the middle of the palate, I'm getting a bit of the kind of caramel, the sort of richer caramel sweetness. I'm getting quite a bit of that in this one. But it really is a lovely beer, this. I can see why it's rated at 95, because it's really well balanced. I always like the IPAs like that aren't too punchy in any one regard. I like it when they've got a good balance between the malt base and the hops, and this guy certainly fits into the bill for me. So at the back corners of the palate, I'm getting a little tiny bit of earthiness. That's the mosaic. I always find you get a little bit of earthiness out of the mosaic. As you come further forward, you can feel there's a bit of pine resin in there, but then there's a big sort of floral aromatic character to this one as well. Yeah, there's a nice big floral character there. As you go round the front curve of the palate, you get a little bit more of the lighter and kind of grassier elements that you'll get from some of these hops. I remember Columbus having a little bit of a grassy character to it as well, and things. And sometimes I think Amarillo and Simcoe can give you that as well, but they are mainly big floral and kind of orangey and passion fruity hops. But yeah, the thing that's quite interesting about this beer is the fruit blend. So if you just go behind the front curve of the tongue, you'll feel this little oily bubble, and that's where all your fruity flavours start to come out. So you've got a bit of, you can get the orangey citrus coming out of this one. That's definitely from the Amarillo. You can feel that kind of underpinning the beer. You've got this kind of really juicy orangey citrus character to this one. There's a little bit of the grapefruit there as well, which will come from the Cascade and the Mosaic. You can feel just that little bit of sour character. I can pick up a wee bit of the passion fruit as well, which will be from the Simcoe. Yeah, I think it really is. It's a mix of orange, grapefruit and passion fruit, and when it starts to move into the aftertaste, you can pick up a little bit of the juicier elements from this. I'm getting maybe a wee bit of the peach coming out of this beer. There is a little bit of that in this one, and maybe a bit of mango too. But it's interesting because the hops that are in this beer, usually those are flavours you kind of associate with Citra, and this beer, as far as I know, unless I've read wrong or something like that, it doesn't have Citra in it, but really it's a big orangey character that I'm getting from this one. It's the orange for me that's dominating. There's a little bit of the grapefruit, but then as you move later on, it's more of a kind of passion fruity thing that's coming out, and that's got to be the Simcoe coming out of this beer. When you move into the aftertaste, you've got a bit of the bready character just lingering in the middle of your palate. There's a wee bit of the caramel sweetness, and the pine raisins I'm feeling. I'm getting a bit more pine raisin than I was at the start. When I took the beer in at the start, it was more floral, but then you feel the pine raisins just sitting there on the edges of your palate too, and the nice juicy fruits as well. The orange is what's lingering for me with this beer, but the flavours are really nice. It blends together very, very well actually. So in terms of the mouthfeel of this one, I would say this is kind of mid-bodied. It's got it's got a bit of crispness to the carbonation, but it's also kind of smooth at the same time. It's quite an oily and wet mouthfeel that you're getting from this one, but that really suits it for me. I always like it if you have the orange flavours as prominent as they are in this. I do like the beer to be a little bit oily, and it has that character. So you've got a lot of nice juicy fruit in this one. There's a good bit of hoppy bitterness. As I say, it starts off floral for me, and then as you move into the aftertaste, it starts to become more kind of resinous, sort of pine raisins and things. But you also have that nice kind of smoothness from the malt base as well, from the bready notes, and a little bit of sweetness from the caramel side of things too. But overall, you know, this is a really, really lovely beer. It's always cool to try things from different states, and for me, this one definitely has a bit of a different feel than the American ones that I've reviewed before, like the Californian beers and things. I've not reviewed many of the kind of northeastern American IPAs, but a lot of the California ones I've reviewed do feel quite different to this. So I'm interested to try the other Texan beers that Anna's got me and see if that kind of mouthfeel continues through those. But it feels a little bit different and a bit wetter, and I guess in Texas, where it can be, you know, pretty damn hot, I'm sure this one and that wetter mouthfeel really fits into the sort of climate and things. So it's always interesting to find little kind of quirks about the beer like that. So I'm interested to see how my other Texas beers come around, but this one has been magnificent. You know, St. Arnold Brewing Company Art Car IPA, for, in my opinion, it really deserves that rating in 95 that it's got. It's a really excellent beer. I'd recommend this one to those of you who really like kind of orangey IPAs. I'm getting a lot of that nice Amarillo orange. But if you also like beers that have got Simcoe and the kind of passion fruit flavours that go with Simcoe, you'll also enjoy this one. So definitely check it out. If you enjoy the IPA style, you certainly will enjoy this one. Fully deserving of its rating of 95 on Rate Beer, in my opinion. So yeah, thank you once again for watching my beer reviews. I hope you've enjoyed my first Texan beer review that I've done for you on the channel. Always cool to try beers from different states. Like I said, it can be quite hard to get some of these beers from the different American states because of the different laws between the states. It's actually, from what I hear, it's very difficult to even send beer between states and things like that. So hopefully that's something that can get sorted out in the near future, but always cool to try the beers from the different states. Make sure you try this one if you enjoy orangey beers and you find yourself in Texas. So a big thank you to Anna once again for giving me this beer. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. I hope you've enjoyed this review, and do check out some of my other beer reviews as well. Until the next time, slange you just now. Make sure you try the Art Car IPA from St. Arnold's Brewery in Houston, Texas, over in America. Slange you just now, and I will catch you very soon. Cheers.